and couples wonder how they're being portrayed.
If we've been chosen as a token gay couple, I'm out of here.
What started that fight between Phil and Pete?
I find it absolutely filthy and disgusting what he called me.
I did not call him that.
And there's an assassination plot underway.
Are you going to stand up for what we believe in or stand up for a bunch of yobbos from Adelaide?
Hello, welcome to the Hot House. The votes are flooding in. Our two nominated couples are acutely aware of how you, the voting public, see them. In fact, all of our contestants are trying harder and harder to get noticed because, let's face it, this is now a popularity contest and flying under the radar has become a very dangerous strategy.
It's the start of another hot, humid workday. It's the group's second day of architraves and Simon and Jules seem to know what they're doing.
So what Simon did was he laid the piece of timber on the concrete and just nailed all of these nails in just as deep as the concrete so that when you put it up on the wall you could just go bang, 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 and it just makes it a bit easier.
But not everyone is finding this so easy. Yesterday, couples were each given responsibility for a section of the house, and in Pete and Tina's beloved media room, tempers are fraying.
It's too damn short. Oh, this is so frustrating.
Their arguing has seen them fall behind time.
What's wrong with the bottom? Wrong. It's not wrong. We found the right one for the bottom. Mate, I could do 2 rooms with you.
They've been hopeless at doing their window.
They've been doing one window for about 3 hours. It's a bit of a laugh.
But surprisingly, Tina is comforted by Calvin and Libby, both enemies of her husband.
Not the only one. Don't worry, Tina. We're still on our first window and we've done 2.
You've done more than us.
Really?
Hey, I'm no builder.
No.
That's all I can say.
Don't go blaming me. No.
Well, you're meant to be in the trade, mate. You're meant to know what you're doing.
You wanted to cut, you cut. If you can't cut, then...
I think you're doing a great job, T.
Thanks.
Keep it up.
And while Phil and Libby celebrate getting the job right,
I think we've finally finished one.
it seems cracks are emerging in Pete and Tina's relationship.
Don't work with animals, don't work with children, and don't work with women, especially if it's your missus, because you'll be divorced within a week.
You know what? All I can say to that is don't work with children, work with animals, don't work with men.
Meanwhile, Kat's busy in the master bedroom. There's an old builder's saying that the architraves in the toilet are the most important in the house.
I suppose it is a pretty important thing, isn't it?
Now, why do you suppose that is?
The ventilation.
They're most important in the toilet.
The toilet. Ooh, keep the smell out.
I have no idea.
Finally, the solicitor in the group figures it out.
When you're standing at the toilet bowl doing number ones, you're looking straight out the canal, or you're basically spending a lot of time looking at the architrave.
I just reckon they're taking the piss.
I said to keep the smell in.
Mate, when you're pissing, mate.
Les has brought along Jack the architraves expert, and a spot check reveals some dodgy work.
Have to pull that one down, that one down, that one off, that one off. That has to come off.
A pleasant surprise, though, for the kitchen couple.
You did the kitchen? That is excellent, mate. That's probably the best I've seen.
But in the media room, couple 14 cop it big time.
It's upside down.
That's right.
He cut these ones, Les. I've been cutting all morning.
You cut these ones?
Shut up and listen to me. Now I've got all his fault this time round.
Mate, you got to pull this one off because that one's too long. Pull that off.
The whole lot.
I'll give you one job, Pete. One window. It's struggling tonight. We've had a quick walk around, bit of a look. It's a bit of a horror movie, but...
Now that Les has had time to look around, he's amazed at how much wood has been wasted.
Mate, just for one piece of architrave on the window, we've got a forest. It's just unbelievable. You know, if you had to pick a loser today, Pete, I'm sorry, mate. Where's Pete?
Les is sick of calling in favours from suppliers to cover hothouse stuff-ups.
You got to talk nicely to the guy from Corinthian. I'll give him a call.
So he makes Pete call for more architraves.
Listen, I just want to know whether you can probably drop off another 30 bundles of architraves.
No, 30 lengths.
The others aren't impressed as it comes out of their budget.
Yeah, I promise you, mate, I'll keep my missus off of it now because, you know, she's not pretty good at cutting too well, so you can thank her when you get here. So this time when you do it, don't stuff it up, all right?
Coming up, the public are sweet on Pete, but are the others getting a raw deal?
If we've been chosen as the token gay couple, I'm out of here.
And after the break, what started the fight between the hothouse's two bad boys?
Phil actually said to Pete, you know, I know what happened, and he just made it up.
He would not leave me alone.
I haven't got any more patience. I'm not looking for any more language to communicate with him.
The hothouse couples are not the only ones who can win the dream. Thanks to Women's Day, Ford and Jayco, we're giving you the chance to win your own dream package valued at $80,000. To enter, simply grab a copy of this week's Women's Day, collect the Hothouse brick inside the magazine each week, and watch the Hothouse on 10 for your chance to win a Ford Territory all-wheel drive, a Jayco Freedom pop-top caravan, and $8,000 cash.
With most of our contestants successfully completing their architraves, it's time to move on to skirting boards.
Should be down on that. Everybody, you've all been allocated your rooms, I hear. So we've been shown the skirting. Yeah. Let's go do it.
Our couples are happily working away, skirting their individual rooms. But right now, I want to talk to you about Phil and Pete. A couple of nights ago at the nomination ceremony, they got pretty angry with each other, to say the least. Funny thing is, they have more in common with each other than any other contestant. So what went wrong?
The weekly hothouse elimination shows are typically filled with drama and tension, but last Monday's session took it to a whole new level.
You know darn well that's not true.
I know that's well true.
Liar.
I know that's true,
on
Phil.
top of everything else that everyone said about you, you're a liar.
It was the clash of the hothouse heavyweights, and the normally confident class clown Phil suddenly lost his smile.
Wrong. You know it's wrong.
Evil. You must know the conversation.
You know that's wrong, Pete.
And when the embattled Pete lashed out, many were left wondering exactly what had gone on between them to evoke such an outburst.
Who said it? Don't be aggressive like that.
So tonight we piece it together and decide who emerged on top in the battle of Pete and Phil.
The other day, Pete got some news that one of the papers had published an article about his past, and he was upset about that, really upset.
Pete stormed in all upset and sort of made it quite obvious that there was something going wrong. So obviously everybody wanted to, make sure he was all right, because he was pretty grumpy when he stormed in.
It was something had been written about his mum and he wasn't happy with, and he's already told me before that his mum's passed away. And
last night, Australian viewers learnt Pete's secret. 4 years ago, his mother was brutally murdered, but he doesn't feel he can discuss this with the other contestants.
You know, I don't want to tell these people here about it because I don't trust them, and I don't. They take everything out of text, all right? And what Phil did.
Phil wanted to find out why he was upset, and was pressing Pete quite a bit to try and find out, and said some things to Pete.
Made some guesses
And assumptions, and threw things at Pete, I think, trying to sort of probably bait him into saying, yes, now leave me alone or whatever.
Phil actually said to Pete, you know, I know what happened, and he just made it up.
Phil's probably the only one with enough character to actually get up there and go, Pete, what's going on? And Tina and Pete have just snapped back at him.
He harassed me all morning one time there, and he would not leave me alone. He was making accusations about me, about what's going on in my life, and I find them very hurtful, mate.
Needless to say, Phil has a different slant on things.
Who knows what's going on with him? Who knows? It just, it's frustrating because I know that I clarified it with him.
I find it absolutely filthy and disgusting what he called me, and I want it to be exposed somehow, and I need people to feel or see who he is.
I don't know whether he's after sympathy. I don't know whether he mistook what I said. I can't see how that could be, but yeah, let's say that's happened.
He called me a pedophile. Maybe that's what they've been heard about you. Maybe you're a pedophile, Pete, or maybe you're a drug addict.
Phil admits to using these words, but says he wasn't aiming them at Pete.
No, I said to him that at least they're not saying these, it's not that bad. I was trying to put it in perspective for him. I did not call him that. There's no way, and he could not even take that way.
I don't want to be able to leave this island without, if I even win or I don't win the house, whatever it is. It could destroy me on the outside, and from the stuff that I've been through in my life, I don't need this stuff coming up about me that is not true.
I have tried to communicate, and I haven't got any more patience. I'm not looking for any more language to communicate with him.
It's up to you to decide who stays in the hothouse. If you want to save Pete and Tina, SMS the number 14 to 188 1110, or to save Phil and Libby, SMS the number 8. Alternatively, you can vote via our website. After lunch, the guys get back into skirting. It seems everyone has got into the swing of things.
Don't put a lot of pressure on the saw, keep it light. Is that easier?
Yeah, that's great.
That's it, if you're right on the line, it's great.
Nail them up. Okay, that's looking good.
Heather's handiwork with the saw, look at that. She's amazing.
Except, once again, for Pete and Tina.
Oh no, you remember what he said? You got to hammer him down.
Did he?
Yes, he did. So we have to take them out. Sorry, take 2.
You got the wrong end.
Poor old Pete and Tina. They've cut it to the right size, it's just upside down.
Look at that, just leave it straight.
Did you get it done? No, not did you? Oh, that's right, isn't it?
Look at that.
Pete's a builder's labourer who should know what he's doing.
I had no responsibility in cutting these pieces, so it's all his fault.
Do it to below standards, and then they might have to come and do it themselves when they move in here, man. Just a bit of sabotage. By hook or by crook, mate, they say.
They've got one window to do, they can do it. It's his fault.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's just too early in the morning, mate, you know what I mean? And I think me and Tina are just arguing a bit too much. I need to have a breather, otherwise I'm going to go.
Bye-bye.
The hothouse has struck a chord with viewers and everyday supporters. Sometimes busloads turn up to encourage their favourite contestants.
Bus? It's packed full of people. Aren't they beautiful, these people? Yes!
For these crowds, it seems Tina and Pete are the favourites.
With these people help, hopefully this house can get closer to being mine and Tina's. And they're making our dreams come true, mate. And, I like to mix with as many of them can. Obviously in here I can't, but it's great to hear the support. And it's completely overwhelming and I love it.
But it seems Brett's nose is out of joint.
If Pete's in front of the camera and he's being, cheering and carrying on to the crowd, and the crowd is supporting him, then Australia will see that the majority of people are supporting him. Where's the opportunity for Phil and Libby to do that?
Maybe Brett's worried that Pete and Tina have more supporters than he and Jeff, especially now that the public vote determines who is saved and who is laid off. So how do the other contestants think Brett and Jeff are perceived?
There's a lot of gay couples out there, and I guess that's how they're portrayed, as the gay couple.
We're not like every other sort of relationship that's here, you know, but we don't see ourselves like that.
They just say, the gay couple, because it's easier.
It's not like they're both prancing around and whatever like that. They're so not the stereotypical gay couple. They're just two guys. They're hard workers.
But Australia might see Jeff maybe as the quiet one and Brett as the loud, opinionated one.
If we're the token gay couple, right, then you ask, what do you think of the token yobbos, right, the token artist couple and the token whatever couple? And I said, if we've been chosen as the token gay couple, I'm out of here. No, we don't do that.
Simon and Jules would be seen as the quiet couple, the quiet couple with the kids just doing their thing. They don't really care if they win or not, they're just easygoing.
Really lightly on the wood.
They came here only to move forward, same as everybody here. I don't think leaving your kids at home for 3 months to do this is a negative thing.
And finally, what about the couples that Australia is currently voting on? Firstly, Phil and Libby.
I guess people could think of him as a bit of a goofball, a bit of a doesn't take it so seriously, wants to have a bit of fun and mess with people's minds.
In the Australian eye, I think it might be a positive thing because he's always smiling, he's always having a good time.
How about the most voted against couple in the hothouse?
Peter and Teen are definitely the underdogs.
It's pretty rough and, you know, down to earth and say it as it is.
We see a different perspective of Pete. Every second word he says is a swear word.
I think Pete and Tina might be the couple that insult one another. They're always calling each other names and yelling at one another.
And the final word, Tina, on Phil and Libby.
They're on the ear this week, mate. They're gone.
Coming up, Ben has a theory about Pete's game plan.
But he doesn't want to be involved with any of us because as soon as he is, his game plan's gone down the drain.
And Christian makes a plea to Australia.
Are you gonna vote to save us or them? Are you gonna stand up for what we believe in or stand up for a bunch of yobbos from Adelaide?
Be good.
Alright, I'll just put these on the table. Okay, great.
As our couples settle down for a romantic night, little do they know what trouble is bubbling away in the pavilion.
We're just digging ourselves into a hole. The more that we congregate together is just us over, mate. You know, each man for himself, eh? Really. I don't agree with their values and I'll just vote for them until that happens, you know.
That's right.
Meanwhile, the subjects of Ben and Jeff's scheming are also enjoying the evening, but by themselves, and they reflect on their working relationship.
She'll dictate, I'll go do it. If it's not right, I'll dictate, she'll go do it. If it's not right, we'll just argue about it until we get it done, you know?
Yeah, we've been together for about 13 and a half years, nearly 14 years in December. And yeah, we communicate like that all the time. Hey, you know, if he me off, I tell him.
By now, Ben and Jeff's discussion has developed into a full-blown assassination party.
The actions that he and some of the things that he does is just unacceptable in the world and the reality that we have outside of here.
I think there's a possibility that the Australian public are impressed by the way that they've come in here and sort of demanded the house.
Pretty much 100% of the people who turn up here support Pete and Tina. Obviously what went to air last week hasn't affected the way people feel about them.
I think every single decent person would be feeling exactly the same as us because we've all come from completely different backgrounds, we all do different things, we all live in different states and we all feel exactly the same.
Remember, it's only been a matter of weeks since these very people chose Tina and Pete over 4 other couples to join them. Is the turnaround a personality clash, or is it that Pete and Tina are just too much of a threat?
Pete's playing the underdog and he's playing up good. He doesn't want to be involved with any of us because as soon as he is, his game plan's gone down the drain.
At this point, I don't think anyone can take him on. As of today, and seeing all the support they get, when every single person that turns up here is for them.
And I said to send Pete out to cut a piece of wood. And as soon as he walked out the door, there was this huge roar of all the people along the fence line. Pete, we love you, Pete. Where's Tina? I went, oh my God. And I thought, because it turns around and Amy, she goes, far out, listen to that.
And all the time that we are here, you know, socialising and they're off by themselves,
And then the camera goes over there and says, oh, look what they're doing, and we're sat here by ourselves. We look like we're ostracising them, which is completely not the point. They're ostracising themselves.
Pete, he just thinks that he can just pick us off one by one. Well, he said that.
Well, he's made that.
Well, he said that.
He's made that threat.
Well, buggered if I want to leave the show by being picked off by him. Like, I've worked too hard, and invested too much to have some bloody couple come in and say, I vote you, and be off at the end of it. I don't want to leave like that. I'd rather be voted off by you guys.
Whoever gets put up next or whatever, it's like, are you gonna vote to save us or them? Are you gonna stand up for what we believe in, or stand up for a bunch of yobbos from Adelaide? I don't know.
So they hatch a plan. They have no real way of knowing how much coverage Pete and Tina get in the show, but they're determined to minimise it.
I'm not going to arc up. If he says something like completely stupid, or he's being a pain in the bum, I'm not going to turn around and do a snide remark back to him because it just fuels it.
And a public appeal.
Why don't we go back on them? Why don't we appeal to the people who are like us? Why don't we say to them, what the hell's going on? Here we are, decent people working hard to build this house, and Pete and Tina getting all the support from people who are just like them. Where the hell's our support? Where the hell's people from Perth? Where the hell's people from Melbourne and Sydney?
I can honestly say that somebody will overpower them pretty soon. Cheers, guys.
So the scheming couples finally realise that they have to put up their strongest contenders to take on Pete and Tina at the next public vote. The question is, who are they going to choose? Tomorrow night on The Hot House, a new strategy turns friends into foes.
You either wait to get picked off or you can do something about it. I reckon Simon and Jules will beat them because they're in exactly the same predicament as what Pete and Tina are.
Bribey Island locals have their say on their preferred neighbour.
Pete and Tina, for sure. I love them. Go, guys. Woohoo!
Cat and Ben. Yes, that's who I would prefer.
And tensions boil over the smallest of issues.
I don't even care about the papers. I care that I ask a question and you snap back.
Remember, the voting lines are open. You have until Friday midday to decide who stays in the hothouse. If you want to save Pete and Tina, SMS the number 14 to 188 1110. Or to save Phil and Libby, SMS the number 8. Alternatively, you can vote via our website. The Hot House